Hey, we're going to start reading Pride and Prejudice. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at some of the people and places. Uh, One of the main characters, his name is Mr. Darcy. He's very rich and proud young man. He has a sister, Georgiana, who is 10 years younger than him. He owns a large estate called Pembury in Derbyshire. So that's going to be him right here. He's the main man in this. And then the main woman is going to be over here. She's in the Bennett family. So you can see right here that they have the father, many daughters, and then right here is the mother. So one of the key things about this is the let's say the role of the woman versus the role of the man. This is in England a long time ago, and basically, if you were a woman, your main goal was to marry a rich and powerful man. Also, if your family owns property, then it can only be passed down to a man. So, as you might see, they all have girls here. They're really worried because when the father dies, well, what's going to happen to them? Actually, um, right here, Mr. Collins, he's a cousin of the Bennett family. He is the clergyman, meaning that he is a priest, he works at the church. And what's going to happen is that he is the closest relative, so he will get their home whenever the father passes away. So that's going to be one of the main ideas that's going to be going on. But again, here, this is Elizabeth, and she's going to be the main female character right here. You also have her other sisters, like here you have Lydia, Mr. Bennet, Jane, right here. She's the oldest daughter, and they're going to try to find her man to marry. The mother, who is a little bit on the stupid side. If you read, maybe you can try to pick it up. And also the husband is quite intelligent, but what they end up doing is the husband might be critical of a situation, but will say things very indirectly, very subtly, to make fun of people because this is very old England. That's you couldn't do something crazy. Let's say you couldn't say something unusual. And then also right here we have Kitty, once again Elizabeth, the main girl, and Mary. So those are going to be our main characters, and it takes place in England, mostly around London. So, the language of Jane Austen's time. Jane Austen is the person who wrote Pride and Prejudice back in 1813. The English that people spoke at that time was a little different from modern English. Here are some of the differences that you will find when you read Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen's language. Back then they would say something like did not, are not, but today we would say didn't and aren't. Before they would say I wish to, now we say I want to. Um, a long time ago they would say I want to admire, but now I like something. Um, you would maybe call a very pretty girl handsome, but today you would only say handsome for a man. And of course, a woman who's pretty, you would say beautiful. I shall do this. Today it would be I will do this. Also, it's kind of like uh, what we have in Hong Kong or in China now. People did not use first names except with their families. So Mr. Darcy calls Elizabeth Miss Elizabeth or Miss Elizabeth Bennet. Even husbands and wives often call each other as Mrs. Bennet and Mr. Bennet. Okay, so I hope that you now go ahead and do the pre-reading exercises, and then we're going to read starting with chapter 1.